Zal sagen, es Pedosh für Adam Nikar im Benoilam Abo. Von der Hesped von Mensch, Yusif, ist Benoilam Abo. Chaim, der größte Oilam do. Der Kesher, der Nondkeit, the Brüderschaft, which such a great Oilam had with Rabbi Chaim Mendel. Weißt doch, der Oilam Abo, shows what kind of person he was. The Tsar is felt by everybody, tasted by the family, but by friends, and by anyone who came in contact with him, felt so close with him. It's a tremendous loss. Versteht so von der Mishpoche, von der Chaverim, von der Kehille, von der Stott, and for Klal Yisrael at large. It's very hard to take such a fellow Chetzach, person who was known to everybody, person who was valued so much, person with such tremendous chashivas. Nachabur, echad mim nachabur shemeis, tida kol achabur kulo. Chazal tell us why was Nismach Misa Sahar B'nei Aharon to Yom Kippurim to teach you just like Yom Kippur is Mechaper, is Misa Tzadikim Mechaper. What is the inyan of Misa Tzadikim Mechaper? Yom Kippurim is Mechaper. What's the Kapor of Misa Tzadikim? What is comparison to Yom Kippur? Yom Kippur is Mechaper because it's Yom von Tshuva, a day of Kapore, a day when Klal Yisrael is in such a high madrege that everybody is choyde b'tshuva Yom Kippur. Everybody prepares himself choyde shelul, Hashem b'tshuva, to be in the right high madrege Yom Kippur, to be able to do tshuva, and able should be mechaper. We compare Misa Tzadikim to that also. That's one of the reasons. That's one of the inyonim that Misa Tzadikim is mechaper. There's another gewaltiger inyan. Chazal tell us, Al Matzeach al Shoishanim, so the posuk, so Rashi, Lichvoit Talmidei Chachomim Yosdu Shir Zeh. This Lan Matzeach al Shoishanim refers to Talmidei Chachomim. It's compared. Doidi Yorad Legano Lilkoi Shoishanim. Talmidei Chachomim Anoim Keshoishanim. They're pleasant like Shoishanim. Rach, they're soft like Shoishanim. The Noi means Yofo. There's another Chazal. Hinoch Yofo, Roa Yossi. Yofo b'mitzvahs. The Noim, the beauty of Shoishanim. By Talmidei Chachomim. Choshev Yidden are compared to Shoishanim. Just like Shoishanim is beautiful, Yidden are Noi b'mitzvahs. Chaim was so beautiful b'mitzvahs, so medagdik b'mitzvahs, b'kalo kivachamuro. Even a minhag Yisrael was tremendously choshuv by him. He wanted to make sure that every small minhag he continues and he does ki yerushas ha'avois, tremendous ahavas ha'mitzvahs. Yofe in Torah. Ja, für Teure, sagt der Medrash. Was ist Teure? Can't even imagine the Geistkeit, the love for Teure that Chaim had. Even when he was working, everybody knew. And you notice by him that he was Teroso Kva Umelachta Aroi. V'yidgol Roiv Chazal compare Torah to dogim. Just like dogim are in water, but every drop of water that comes, they go up and they drink with a tremendous thirst. Chaim, as much Torah that he accomplished, as how much Torah that he possessed. But he loved Torah, every dvar Torah. He was choice with a tremendous tzama, tremendous, unbelievable love for Torah. And after he retired, he spent calls manoi b'Torah, some leilos kiyomim b'Torah, the asmode, the shkide, the ahaves ha-Torah, the tzimoim for Torah, the amelus b'Torah. Yofa b'Torah b'chaim was. Yofa b'gmilus chasodim. His tremendous love for people. Shoshana zon Chazal is rach, is soft. He was so soft, so kind, so edel, so fine, so caring to everybody. Rach Shoshana. He was soft like a Shoshana. Yofa b'tfilah. You looked at the Tzuras HaTfilah from Chaim Mendel. Was in a high madrege. It was a Musa Sefer, the word of Chaim Mendel daven. It elevated the whole Olam. It raised the whole Kehillah. He changed the Tzuras HaTfilah. He davened in Medav davenen. Not only Yoshana Yom Kippur, but a regular weekday Shmona Esrei. Was a Musa Sefer by him. Yofa b'tfilah. Yofa b'maasim toivim. His maasim toivim was unbelievable. Chazal tell us, Posuk says that Eliezer gave Rivka Shnei Tzmidim. What Tzomud? Connected the Shnei Luches that what Tzomud were linked, were attached, were together. What does this mean? What does this represent? What is it Tzmidus, the togetherness, the linking, the attachment? Because we know the two Luches, one Luches represent Ben Odom Lamokem, the first 5 Dibres is one Luches, and the other one of the Luches is Ben Odom Lachaveiroi. Eliezer wanted to tell her that one without the other is a pogum. Shleimus can only be if there is Ben Odom Lamokem and it's Ben Odom Lachaveiroi. But Reb Chaim, these two in Yonim went together. It was groß in Torah, in Yerushalayim, in Dikduk b'mitzvahs, but at the same time, and just as much, was his Ausgearbeitenkeit gewaltig in Midas, in all Midas Toives. By the Menorah, there were 3 steps. Why do we need 3 steps? It was not so high. Because the Menorah represents Torah. And the 3-step represents the basic 3 Midas. Ein Toivo, Ruach Nemucha, Nefesh Feila. It has to go together. Großkeit in Torah and Yerushalayim goes together with Midas Toives, Aves HaBriyas. This is what Chaim was. Chazal tell us. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yeshua, he got sick. He went by Shomayim. His father asked him, what did you see, my chozis? He saw Elyonim Lemata v'Tachtonim Lemala. What does it mean? That a person who is great here, he's respected for his gashmias, his alien here is a tachten there. That's simple. That sometimes a person who has a high position here in Ruchnias, high position, he could be an alien here, but Abba Shomayim, they don't consider him so great. And there's another person who doesn't occupy an important position. You don't see him as an alien. You see him maybe as a tachten here, but over there he's alien. How is it measured by Shamayim? How much koiches, how much time, how much effort he invests in Torah, in Yiras Shamayim, v'nodon lamokim, v'nodon lachaveiroi. Reb Chaim invested his whole life, all his koiches, to be mashlim himself in Torah, in Yiras Shamayim, in v'nodon lachaveiroi. The tremendous gewaltige Mesiras Nefesh that he and Yiboda Lechaim, Mrs. Traube, invested in the chinuch of the children. And that's why he raised a beautiful, gewaldige family. He can say, like Rebbe said, I need my children. This is the kapore of Mrs. Tzadikim. Davke in Chodesh Elul. Chaim is in his life. He contributed tremendously. And even in his ptire, Davke his ptire is in Chodesh Elul, in the Yemei HaKapora, in Non to Yom Kippur, a time when an Olam needs a tremendous, tremendous Hisoyrerus. Looking into Reb Chaim's life, there's no greater Hisoyrerus than that. There's no greater Hirut Tshuva than emulating him. Odos is the Kapore from Misa Tzadikim. The other Inyan is, he suffered 5 months. 5 months of terrible suffering. It's a tremendous gewaltige kapore. But at the same time, the cause for this extension of his life, 5 months, was the Ibergegebenkeit, the devotion, and everything that was done by the family, by the children, by the sons and daughters, and especially by Mrs. Traube. Somo Leila is Kayomim. Day after day she was Moisa Nefesh without interruption. And she did everything possible. Everything possible in order to be Marich Yomov. And that's what gave him the 5 months. Was interessant. The 5 months ended in Chodesh Elul. In the Chodesh when Klal Yisrael needs a kaporo. Dosip Shah, Doidi Yorad Legano, Lilkoi Shoishanim. The Ribono Shem came down to this world. Klal Yisrael needs tremendous chusim. They need a Sanego. And someone of this doir who felt so much for each and every person. His tefillas for the Kisei HaKovod have the greatest oishem. Bechayov, he did everything for Klal Yisrael. And B'moisoi, he's the one who the Eibishter chose that he should be made Litzyoishe for Klal Yisrael. Go in front of the Kisei HaKovod. And as the Ribono Shem B'Shem Alei Olam Dai, Yoim Aletzoroseinu Dai, we ask you, Mechile, if I myself or anybody else hasn't done the Kovod, hasn't done what you deserve, hasn't done enough for you. But please go for the Kisei HaKovod and be Mekayem, the Eibishter, Bila Amoves Lo Netzach, Umocha Hashem Elokim Dimo Me'al Kol Ponim.
There's so much that could be said. So much of what could be said would be uptouching how Chaim's life was lived and how everything went through. Nekuda, the Rav mentioned the Ibergegebenkeit of the Mishpacha during these last 5 months, which was mamish unbelievable. Never left them alone for a minute. children coming in from all different places at all different times, with coordinating it and making it happen, and the ganze avoida, and Zikr has to be mentioned. The Berkowitz-Kumin-Bookatz and Mesiras Nefesh of my sister-in-law Bina, but also has to be mentioned all the children were devoted and connected, but the daughter Tamar soll gesund sein, who has training in these inyonim, was, I can't even describe the words of how much of an asset she was in so many different things, of knowing what to do and knowing how to make it happen, and being here and being on top of it. Ad kedei kach to installing in the house a camera so she could watch it when she was back in Lakewood to see what to do, and she gave advice and she gave guidance on many situations. A total devotion. And it's not right to say that it comes because of the fact of how Ibergegeben Chaim was when his parents were sick. When his mother was sick, it wasn't that bad. She was sick for a few months, a few years really, but it got bad at the end. But his father had a stroke, Rachmana litzlan, totally incapacitated for 7 years. But with Adeya, with the mind thinking, which so many shverikat and so many difficulties come up, part of the time in Eretz Yisrael, part of the time in Chicago, part of the time in Cleveland, the total Ibergegeben-Kumin-Bookatz, with a patience, with an interest, with a devotion, with a Mesiras Nefesh, which the children all saw, the Mishpacha all saw it. And Mamela succumbed that he was zeicha to that same Ibergegeben-Kumin-Bookatz. His Mu'urvim Abriyas, his Midas Taivas with everybody. His Bikush, as the Rav mentioned, for Aliyah and Avodas Hashem. Not just in the later years when he was retired, but the whole time looking for a new vort, looking for a new machshava. Spent many times with him, discussing things, Shabbosim, Sudas together. It was a person that was a mevakish, that was growing. I want to stelzach on one in particular, one Inyan, which I think touches his whole Mitzias. Pasuk says in this week's parsha, Baruch atah b'vayecha, u'baruch atah b'tzeisecha. You should be gebenched b'vayecha when you come, and you're gebenched when you leave. And Rashi's already bothered by the kasha from Chazal. L'chara, a person leaves before they come back. It should be tzeisecha first and then bayecha. So Rashi learns the pshat that you're leaving this world, it's yascha min ha'olam, should be b'lai chait, just like b'yascha ha'olam. When you came into the world, when you entered this world, you came in a pure neshama, should be zeichet to leave a pure neshama. Who can shats up? The kapara that comes of 5 months lying in that matzah, we have absolutely no idea to what degree there was pain, to what degree there was an awareness, to what degree he felt things. No idea of it. But who can shats up the kapara of allowing a person to leave this world? Noki min hachet. But the Targum Yonis in Menuzil says something else. He gives an uptaich. Baruch atah b'vayecha. You should be gebenched when you come, when you're coming into your place. Berichin atun. You should be gebenched b'me'alchon l'bote midrasheichon. When you go to the Beis HaMedrash. Do you know what it means to come home? To come home means you're going to the Beis HaMedrash. Baruch atah b'tzeisecha. Berichun atun. You should be gebenched b'me'pakchon l'parkamat chayim. When you have to go to make a living. Chaim was a balabas. He had to go make a living. But he didn't live in the Geschäft. He didn't live in that. Chaim's mokum the whole time, he was at home in the Beis HaMedrash. He was at home with the Gemara. He was at home in a Daf Yomi. He was at home with the Chavrusa. That was Bayecha. That was where he came home. Where he went out. That was to go Parnasi. He had to go out. This was his uptaich. His ikr was to pass on, to live himself with the Messiah that he received from his father. And this was exactly the Messiah that he received from his father. His father, Gewen HaBalabos, durchgegangen in the Milchama, a Yid that always went to Daf Yomi in all the years that he was a balabas, and as soon as he retired, immediately, dry storm atog, he had chavrusas in Eretz Yisrael, gesetzen in the land, dry storm atog. Chaim Geben Azamin balabas always had a kviyasitim latayra, and when he retired, it was to meet him Kisidron, 3 chavrusas, 3 sdorim a day here in Cleveland, in the shul, in the kailel, durch and durch gegangen, took this over, continuing that Messiah, continuing what he got. Steht bei Aaron HaKayin, Chaim Geben HaKayin, by Yas Kain Aaron. Lamit Shalei Shina, he didn't change. Aaron HaKayin lit the menorah for 40 years. There was no changing. Many pshatim in what it is. Many pshatim. In our life, it's very, very schwer to say. On a general level, Shalei Shina. Raised in a mishpacha of European Yidden that were raised in the Haim, transplanted after going through the Milchama here in America, not knowing the language, not having anybody working b'mesiras nefesh to raise a mishpacha, having to live for a long time in a state that had no chinuch even, because for the children. There might be outside cosmetic changes, but the pnimius of Geven Leishina, the pnimius was everything stayed the same. Chaim raised his children in a different door, and there had to be other cosmetic shinuyim. But Chaim always held on to that Messiah, to that past, as the Rav mentioned, just a kleinigkeit. But to me it was not a kleinigkeit. To me it was an uptouch of what Chaim had to hold on to be able to transmit weiter. I became a chosn. I went to my Kala's house for a Shabbos. It's first thing after the Kiddush, to me, a very interesting niggin for Azamer Bishvachen. Kemel nicht gehört the niggin for Azamer Bishvachen. Then going into Kol Mikadosh Shvi. It's never, a lot of niggunim I never heard. But this was not your typical type of Amerikanische type of a niggin. It just wasn't. This is the letzte Shabbos. That was the niggin that Chaim sang at his table. Because this was the kesher that he had, a small kesher, but it was a real kesher that he had to that Messiah that he received, so that he can pass that on, that his children should know that we're still genuine, and we're going with what Alamol given. Steht in Posuk, Shirim, Eis Sfoid, the Eis Rekoid. There's a time to make a hesped, there's a time to dance. There's a whole list of contrasting times there in Shir HaShirim and Gevenlech. It always means there's a time for this and there's a time for that. In our matzav today, Eis Sfoid ve'Eis Rekoid come together. It's one matzav, it's one time, one zman, when there's an eruv and a mixture of the hesped and the Rikid and the dancing. The hesped no need to be Meirich. We know what an Aveda we lost today. But we say every day in davening, Le'yamushu mipicha, Torah should not go away from your mouth. Umipi zaracha, from the mouths of your children. Umipi zera zaracha, from the mouths from your grandchildren. Amr Hashem me'atav yadaylam. When there's 3 dairas that are connected to Torah, 3 dairas that have a tie-in to the Mesiras HaTorah, Kadosh Baruch Hu guarantees it goes on mi'atav yad olam. This morning, Chaim was zeicha that his oldest boy, Einakol, had his boy Bayom to become nichlas l'el mitzvahs. Today was the time of the kiyum of that inyan of mipizera zaracha. Chaim held on until that would happen, so that he would leave this world with that hargosha, that he left over a door and dairis that are connected to Torah. There are Bez Hashem many, many more that will join Bez Hashem Yisbarach. But this was his zman of leaving the world. It's an Eis Sfoid, and at the same time it's an Eis Rekoid. Because as much as we see the hefsid of one door going by yom, we see the hemshech of the next door coming up. Warren Bruchas says a Maisa that Zeiri used to travel to his Rebbe, and he stayed in a certain place, in a certain house, and he gave over his money to the lady to watch it. When he came back to the yeshiva, came back from his house, from the yeshiva, she was nifter. She was nifteris. So this is something which I don't understand, but Weistais, Gedele Chazal did it. Ozil Basul Chatzar Mavas, he went to the Beis HaKvaris. Amrla Zuzi Hecha. He asked him, where's my money? You have the money. He asked, where's the money? Amrla, so she told him, go take them. There was a certain place in the house. She hid it by the door in a certain hole in the wall over there. Go get it. But then she tells him something else. V'emalei le'ima, and tell my mother, to Shadali, she should send to me masarka, my comb, v'gubsoy de kuchla, and a tube of a certain kind of a makeup. Bahadi planisi da asiyal macher. Somebody's going to be nifter tomorrow, so with her she should send to me into the Elam Emes my comb and my makeup. Shver Gemara. So Rashi says that since she was nifter young, so she said this la'agmas nefesh. She said this. What's the pshat? Dafka to be mitzar the mishpacha, to go give the mishpacha pain. She had to say something. Then a pshat that she was passing on a message to her mishpacha. I'm a young woman that was nifter. Wherever I go, I always take my comb along. I take these zachen along with me. I went now to the next world. I took nothing with me. There's nothing from this world you can take. Don't think that you can just be maspid me. You'll cry, you'll have a shiva, and then go on with life. Just go weiter with life. You have to realize that there's nothing in this world you're going to take with you. You have to make now what you can take to the next world. Chaim is leaving this world mamish like an usher. Mamish like an usher. He's leaving behind Banum b'bnei Banim, a beautiful, wonderful mishpacha. Me'reish v'ad soif, every one of them, Yireyim u'shleimim, erlechi yidin, shem retayru mitzvahs, giving over the Messiah to the next door. He's living behind his Esek HaTorah, his constant Esek HaTorah, state in Chafetz Chaim, that a person that is farnumen with parnasa and other things and can't learn, but when he gets time to learn, he learns. So it's the pshat, he gets schar for limud HaTorah even when he couldn't learn, because he was an onus. When somebody makes parnasa and he's farnumen, he can't learn. He has his kviyas hitam, a small hour or two, whatever it is. But then as soon as he retires, all of a sudden, he comes mamish a chelik of the Yeshrei Beis HaMedrash, Erev Berkowitz-Kumin-Bookatz, he's there in the Beis Medrash. Does haste, he's going with the Torah from all those years. His chesed, the Baal chesed that he was, his geschmack, the neimus, the way he would speak to people, the way he would talk to people. I can say something, zachisi, I can say something that I know, unfortunately, a lot of people would not be. A lot of people can say it, I'm sure, but a lot of them couldn't say it. We're shvagers, Baruch Hashem, we were shvagers for over 4 decades. For Kamat, the last 20 years, we're shchenim, 2 doors away from each other. And there were many, many things that came up that could have created problems. Many shverikaitin that came up that could have created problems. And the whole parsha of taking care of elderly parents, do you do this, do you do that, how do you do this, how do you do that, who should do it, what should do it, things come up. When a parent is nifter and different shaylas come up, what should do, who should do, how to do it, mishpachas get zebrachen nebech from azalchen azachin. With Chaim, there was not a mamish, a word or a mashu of any kind of a siman, of anything that could lead to chelukei dayas and machlokes. That was the furthest thing. Totally mufka from the parsha, an ish shalom, an ish noyim, only wanted to do what was right, only wanted to do what was acceptable, that could have an imus by everybody else. I would go every year, and I already feel I'm missing it. Every year I have to go to the yeshiva for Yom Neraim. So I have to, Yom Kippur, I have to leave earlier because I have to do some things to set it up. So I'll leave my house after my Suda Mafsekes, and I'd stop off by Chaim. He'd be in the middle of the Suda Mafsekes. We've been shown each one of us a Gmar Chasima Taiva, good gebencht yor. But the feeling that I had walking out of the house with that Herzige Brichas Koyin that I got, for a Gmar Chasima Taiva, for myself, for my Mishpacha, for all of our Mishpachas, for ganz Klal Yisrael, B'Sholem, B'Shalva, B'Gesund, it was when a Zamin Herzige Bracha that came out, that every year I was looking forward when I make sure that I have enough time when I leave to stop off for a few minutes, not to have to rush out to the yeshiva the first thing. Because that was Chaim, that could feel for others, that could feel for everybody. His chesed beguf was Yadua L'Koil so many times. Chaim is leaving this world ba'ashirus. He's leaving this world with a tremendous ashirus. He should take it with him to Gan Eden, Bil Meitz Yesher, for his wife, Sol Gesund sein, who is so übrig gegeben. The ganze Zeit has been mentioned, for all the children, for the Eineklach, Zol Merin, they should have constantly have Teire Dike Simchas, Teire Dike Nachas, Mishpacha soll wachsen und wachsen, wie Melis Yosher, for the ganze Kehila, and for ganz Klal Yisrael, Bila Movas Lenetzach.
The Rishonim have a shaila. Why is it that the Gemara says Churban Bayis Rishon was for Gimel Chamuris, Avodah Zarah, Gilui Reis, and Shvichas Domim, and Churban Bayis Sheni was for Lashon Hara and Ben Adam L'Chavei? So why is it that you'd think that the Gimel Chamuris are much more Chomer, and you find that the Churban was only for 70 years? Churban Bayis Sheni, which you'd think the Aveira was less Chomer, we find that it's still going on almost 2,000 years. One of the shotim that is said in the Rishonim is that by Churban Bayis Rishon, as much as there were Averos Chamuris, but the pnim of every Yid was kol kule with the Baryon. The Averis didn't shepherd the essence of who they were. In Bayis Sheni, the Averis were already changing who the people were. They were less dovuk, kosher to the Baryon. If there's one thing when I was growing up and I started learning, so I remember having the feelings like I used to think somewhere I'm smarter, I'm more machmer, and it took me many years to realize how far behind I am from you, Tati. What everyone said already, your pnim was so rein, so pure. You were such a Yid. You were so proud to be a Yid. To you, being a Yid without showing, without flaunting, nothing. You looked like so pashut, so simple. Begashmis uberuchnis. You didn't show anything. But we all knew we saw how much you love to learn, how much you learned, how much you love to do chesed, and how much you did chesed, how much davening meant to you, not to miss davening, and to daven wie es darf zu sein. Tati, I know now is a scary time. And if is going to the other mamas. But you should know two things. First of all, you should know what you're going with. You're going with to be in this world, especially nowadays, and to hold on, to be a tire yid. I do not want to say is not pashut. And to know that all your children, as much as you maybe didn't say it during your lifetime, you never told us much, but who you were gave over much more than any words can say. I just want to say to Mommy that I'm sure I know it's very hard, but we're all there. And we're going to try to continue what you and Tati created together. And we're going to try to be mamshich l'dayr daris. And halavai bila amovas netzach u'mocha Hashem divu me'al kol panim.
The hour is late, so just a couple minutes. This morning, as my uncle mentioned earlier, I was standing at a baybayim of Tati's first einikol, or first boy einikol, his first bar mitzvah. And without knowing it, I said over something that I thought was very apropos, that literally touched up as we heard Tati. Said the difference, as people know, the difference between a boy who's 12 years old and 13 years old. It's the difference between someone who's mitzvah isa and ein mitzvah isa. Someone who does a mitzvah or does anything with the yirah shamayim and does something just because it's chinuch or it's just the way they were taught to do. And the difference between the two of them are worlds apart. Tati was always someone, as we've heard multiple times, who did things because and only it was Ratzon Hashem. His mitzvah, v'oisa, whether it was any shayla went to Rabbanim, no matter what it was followed through on, and there was no questions asked. There was, if I'm mitzvah, I'm an oisa. And that was just the way he lived his life, among all the other things that we've heard previously. And as my uncle also mentioned, this feeling of the two aces, ace of tsar and ace of simcha, and the combination is difficult, but Tati, you're going to be at the bar mitzvah. It's something he always wanted to do, is pass on what he instilled in all of us in his own way. And it's just be a meilitz yosher for the entire mishpacha. And if a source ain't the kol me'et Shem Shev, other ain't the kol should instill this midah and this acceptance of being mitzvah v'oisa and doing things just because it's Ratzon Hashem.
Someone by the when my father was sick in the hospital, I forgot who came over, but he mentioned that he always loved hearing Tati say Berkowitz-Kumin. And he said it was for one simple reason. He said the reason is because when he said the words Bi'ahava, he meant it. He felt like Tati meant it with his with full ahava. And to me, that touched up everything about my father. Tati was someone who just loved everybody. He didn't have a morsel, an iota of hatred for anybody on this earth. Anybody. When I remember when he was sick, the first thing they always said about Tati was that he was just a nachas ruach to everybody. He wouldn't hurt anybody. He was always pleasant to speak with. And it's amazing. I've seen Tati for so long, and I've never seen him get into machlekes. His Allah Chaver was something I always envied, and I always tried to follow. If I only could get close to what my father was, to meet Allah Chaver, I'd be somewhat happy. When it came to, this is unbelievable. I don't know if, when it came to Beruchnius, my father, every Yom Tov, when it was Sukkot and it was Pesach, whether it was Birkas Kehanim, my father did mitzvahs. It was Zek Keli Menbeu. Everything that he did when it came to, I remember every Sukkot, now we're not going to see it this year, but he would go to look for a lulav and look for an esrog. I looked forward to going out with him. You able to see such simcha when he did every single mitzvah. And who could forget when it came Pesach and B'dikas Chometz. These were Tati, the small things that I looked at, which made such an impression on me. Tati, you have a beautiful family. And we all want to follow in your ways and in your footsteps and in Mommy's footsteps. Thank you for raising me. And thank you for instilling in me what it means to be a Yid with Simchas HaChaim. Mommy with Tati should give you the strength. And we're all going to be here for you. You have a beautiful family. Tati may be Meil's Yesher for Mommy, for the whole family and Gans Klal Yisrael.
When the messengers came to Bilam to give him the message, I don't remember the context, I just remember speaking about it from Parshas Balak. Bilam asked the messengers, "Who are you?" And they answered that, I don't recall who it was, I think it was some of the kings. They answered that maybe it was Balak. Maybe Balak sent us. I'm sorry if I misinterpreted. They said he sent us. So I was bothered by a while ago. The question was, who are you? The question wasn't, who sent you? So Pasha, just a simple answer which could be used for. I remember you saying this to say thank you to Mommy and Tati when I got married, was that we only are from who we come from. Who we come from is what makes us. I just remember, I mean, even now, I always felt wherever I went, whether I went to Lakewood, whether I went to Brooklyn, whether I went to Muncie or to Israel, always knew I would meet somebody who knew Tati. I always met somebody who would send regards to Tati, or would look at me or my siblings and say I look like a Traube. And people always had such good things to say. They were yeshivish, they were chassidish, they were modernish, they were Rosh Yeshivas, they were regular people. All these people. It shows something about you, Tati. You had ahava, like Yehuda saying, for everybody, every yid. You taught me and the whole family how to treat another yid. And you were all, everything, like, you were so clean about it. Tati, I want to thank you for all those suppers at night. And you'd come home from work late, and I'd have to be going to bed soon, and you'd sit down and learn with me. And I'd constantly say how I understand the Gemara, I understand the Mishnah, I understand the Rashi, I understand the Taisvis. And you would want to go over it with me and drill into my head, and I said I understand. And you knew that I didn't understand. And deep in my heart I knew I didn't understand. But I knew it. I read it like I knew it. Then I wasn't learning it to know it and want to understand it through and through. I didn't understand. I was reading like a math book. I thought it was, 1 and 1 is 2. But Tati, you wanted to teach me what everything meant, how to think. And I was in action, and I was stubborn. I asked you, Mechila, Tati, for this, if I got upset. Thank you, Tati, for everything. But certain things are going to stick, I think, to each one on their own. They stick in your hearts and your minds forever. That you'll never forget, and you could always have that same varm feeling in it whenever you go back to it. This Shabbos morning, waking up, when already it was only me and Eliza left in the house, and we'd come downstairs, whether it was 8 o'clock or 7:30, and you'd be sitting there learning by the kitchen table with the Mikrais Gedolos and an art scroll and a Ramban and other Svarim, which I was too young to understand what they were in those days. Thank you for those Erev Shabbosim and those Shabbos mornings. You would race me to shul. You would run. You were faster than me, even though I was however old I was, 5th grade, I still remember you were faster than me. And thank you for taking me over to learn with Zadie, and he was by Uncle Aaron's house. And thank you, Mommy and Tati, both, for teaching me how to take care of a spouse and how to treat a spouse. And Tati, the Kindlach, Eliza, and Sarifka, and all day in the Klach. I just remember right when this happened thinking, how, Tati, you were more Zeta than I was a Tati. Thank you. And thank you, Mommy. You have a lot of Kayach, Mirta Shem, and Tati should be a Melet Yesher.
I was your Bechor. I was the oldest one. After a long day at work, he would come home. You would call in those days ADD, not the sharpest tool in the shed. You would sit there, and you would sit there and learn with me, for an hour, hour and a half, right when you came home. And this went on for every night. And he instilled in me, and he instilled in the whole family a love and appreciation to be a Yid. There were times my amuna and my betachin, he didn't have to tell me. It came from him. His love for, like he said, his love for learning. Like I think the Rav Blum said before, his love just to help, to help other people, to always go out and love to be, someone to be able to just help other people. He's not about himself. What can I do to help someone else? If he knew what condition he was in, he wouldn't have wanted it. He wouldn't have said. He enjoyed helping other people in his condition, but he never wanted anyone to help to him. And the bracha these past 5 months we had is that all the people that my father touched were able to come and call and come and daven and just consistent. It was repetitive. It didn't get old. People came day after day, week after week, month after month, because they appreciated what Tati you are. You're someone who is real, someone who, so to speak, doesn't beat around the bush. And the Mechila, I have to ask you, Mechila, you were so independent. I felt I should have done more kibbut of. Not be able to do that mitzvah that I had a whole opportunity in life to do. I have to ask you, Mechila. One little thing from when I was probably a child before Bar Mitzvah, I remember going with him to work. It was an hour and 10-minute drive each way. And I remember him saying, before there was texting and driving, my father said to Hillam and drove. And I think that's about a schus. But it was something he always did. I think later in years he knew the Tehillim by heart already. And it's always spending the time trying to better himself, like the Rav said, being more machmer. What chumrah could I do? In today's day and age, we always try to get away with things. What can we do? What heter can get this to? My father always looked for the chumrah. He looked for the chumrah, but he never went ahead and said, oh, you have to do it as a child, or you have to do this. No, this is what he truly enjoyed doing. And his ava for Torah and his love for the Rebbeinu Shloim is we're going to miss you, Tati. We're going to miss you. There are a lot of people over these past 5 months that we have to thank. I'm saying to thank you for the family. If we miss anyone, I apologize. First of all, we have the Rav Blum. He was there for the Mishpacha whenever he needed him, questions, morning, night, afternoon, always came. We appreciate that. The Bika Cholam, we know how good it is. We see how good it is, but to be in a situation where we're recipients of Bika Cholam, it couldn't have been done without Bika Cholam, and we really thank you. My Uncle Aaron, he stepped in, he guided us, he spoke to us anytime. Being there is a real support for the family. Their friends, their families, we without, we wouldn't have been able to get through this. We have Shmuel and Shandy Hoffman and family, Schiffer and Ellie Mae Rennert, Chil and Simi Friedman, Judy and Zelig Shore. Parrots Katz was a big help when my father went to Kindred. Thank you very much. There are a lot of other people that I'd like to thank. But I'm sure they'll be there for us, and especially for Mommy, that we're all there for you, Mommy. All going to be supportive. And I think Tati, one last thing, he created a shalom, like people said, a shalom on the family. You see all sorts of other things, and Baruch Hashem, the shalom that we have in the family, and the shalom how people can get together and nothing really get in the way of that, is a testament to the upbringing that you brought. Wonderful family.
Six boys means a lot of speeches, so I'll keep it succinct. First, on behalf of the family, we'd like to thank a special person who entered our house about 4 months ago. She had a tremendous rosham on all of us, and a tremendous amount of care and respect that she showed to my father and to my mother and to the family at large. Marcia, she was the aide that was brought in, and her care for my father was beyond natural. It was from the heart, and as from the family, we just want to really thank you for everything that you've done for our father, and we couldn't have gotten anyone better. So thank you. And just to keep it short, I just want to say one thing. One thing I think that my father emulated, and it was to make a roshim on every single person in our family without actively trying to make a roshim, to make an impression on us. And every person, our family is very diverse, and everyone took something different from my father and from my mother. But I think it was Tati's ability to be able to be himself and to be able to relate the Masorah and really how to be a Jew. I guess that's the best way to put it, without putting any labels on anything. Just how to be just a real Torah Jew, and I think this might be a good opportunity to express our hakaras hatov to Tati for raising such a wonderful family and for keeping the shalom within the family, and for allowing us to pass this on to the next generation. And if only we can do for our children
and our grandchildren as you've done for us.
Minyonim for Shachar, we start by the Avelim tomorrow morning. Shachar will be every morning at 7:30, and Mincha will be at 7 p.m. Everybody knows the address, 3655 Sever. Everyone, please rise. El Molei Rachamim, Sheicheim B'Ameroimim, Hametzei Menucha Nechaina, Al Kanfei HaShechina, V'Mahalois Kedoshim Tahirim, Kezayhara Kiyam Azirim, Es Nishmas, Rachayim Mendel ben Moshe Zeva Kaihain, Shalach La'Ilamai, Bavor Shebnei Mishpachta Yitain Staka, Baraskaras Nishmasai, Began Eden Tehei Menuchasai, Lachein Bal HaRachamim, Yastireho b'seiser kanafav li'olamim, v'yitzrar b'tzar achaim es nishmasai, Adonaiho nachalasai, v'yanuach b'shalom al mishkavai, v'noimar amen.